بتمن، شوالیه تاریکی برمیخیزد. ژانر اکشن، جنایی، هیجان انگیز. کارگردان کریستوفر نولان. نویسنده فیلمنامه جاناتان و کریستوفر نولان. بر اساس داستان بتمن اثر باب کین. تهیه کننده اما توماس، کریستوفر نولان، چارلز روبن. کمپانی های تهیه کننده برادران وارنر، لژندری پیکچرز و دیسی انترتینمنت. بازیگران کریستیان بیل، مایکل کین، گری اولدمن، ان هاتوی، تام هاردی و مورگان فریمن. موسیقی متن هانس زیمر. پخش از کمپانی برادران وارنر. زمان فیلم 165 دقیقه. تاریخ اکران جولای 2012. بودجه ساخت 250 میلیون دلار. کشورهای سازنده آمریکا و انگلستان. محل فیلم برداری کشورهای آمریکا، انگلستان، اسکاتلند و هند. امتیاز فیلم در سایت IMDb 8.6.
There's a storm coming.
You sound like you're looking forward to it.
I'm adaptable.
What are you?
I'm Gotham's reckoning.
Did they kill him?
I'm not sure.
Why didn't you just kill me?
Your punishment must be more severe.
Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know. Why would you run, Bane?
You should be as afraid of him as I am.
I won't bury you. I've buried enough members of the Wayne family.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
My mother warned me about getting into cars with strange men.
This isn't a car.
کریستوفر نولان از ابتدا قرار بود این فیلم را به صورت سه‌بعدی فیلم برداری کند، اما با آغاز زمان فیلم برداری از این تصمیم منصرف شد و اعلام کرد که به منظور بهبود بخشیدن به کیفیت تصاویر قصد دارد برای فیلم برداری از فرمت آیمکس استفاده کند. نولان با دیوید کایلی مدیر شرکت آیمکس جلسات زیادی گذاشت تا در زمینه تدارکات لازم برای فیلم برداری به صورت آیمکس به نتیجه مطلوب برسند. والی فیشر نیز علاقه داشت تمام فیلم به صورت آیمکس فیلم برداری شود. اما مشکلی که وجود داشت این بود که دوربین‌های آیمکس صدای زیادی تولید می‌کردند که برای فیلم برداری صحنه‌های دیالوگدار مناسب نبودند و در صورت استفاده از آنها مجبور به دوبله و صداگذاری مجدد آن قسمت‌ها می‌گشتند. در نتیجه فقط 1 ساعت از فیلم برداری این فیلم به صورت آیمکس انجام گردید و مابقی با دوربین‌های 35 و 70 میلیمتری و با صدا برداری سر صحنه انجام شد. فیلم برداری ابتدایی در 6 می 2011 در جودپور هند در قلعه مهرانگار آغاز شد و پس از آن پروژه در پیتسبورگ پنسیلوانیا تحت عنوان مگنس رکس به فعالیت خود ادامه داد تا جلب توجه نکند. همچنین مکان فیلم برداری داخل شهر محل برگزاری مسابقه فوتبال آمریکایی بود که هاینز فیلد نام داشت و در آنجا بازیکنان تیم پیتسبورگ استیلرز به جای بازیکنان تیم فوتبال گوتام راگز نقش آفرینی می‌کردند. فیلم برداری در مؤسسه ملون، و همچنین در مؤسسه مهندسی نرم افزار دانشگاه کارنگی ملون در پیتسبورگ ادامه پیدا کرد و نیز از طرف عوامل فیلم نامه‌ای به ساکنین و صاحبان مشاغل مبنی بر مسدود بودن خیابان‌ها برای فیلم برداری ارسال شد و همچنین به اپراتورهای 911 اطلاع داده شد که تعداد تماس‌های ناشی از شنیدن صدای شلیک و انفجار طی فیلم برداری افزایش خواهد یافت. بخش بعدی فیلم برداری در اواخر ماه آگوست در لس آنجلس انجام پذیرفت و پس از آن در سالن نیویورک و پارک ارتش نیوجرسی و همچنین شهر نیویورک ادامه پیدا کرد. شهرهای لندن و گلاسگو نیز از جمله سایر موقعیت‌های فیلم برداری بود و در نهایت فیلم برداری اصلی در 14 نوامبر 2011 به اتمام رسید.
Really, every major modern city does have an incredible network of tunnels underneath it that's built up over generations, and that felt like the obvious place to really play this idea of a menace lurking beneath the city and sort of coming up from underneath. And so, a lot of that was shot on location, various different large tunnels, and then we built the sort of central hub of it, which is Bain's lair, as we called it, which is this extraordinary set that Nathan Crowley, Kevin Kavanagh put together, which is on 4 different levels and has catwalks and a waterfall, 2 waterfalls in fact.
We're pumping an enormous amount of water around it. I'd like to add an element that makes you feel like you're on location. So if I can add water to the sewer system in the big collection area in any quantity, then I think it will feel, rather than we built it, it will feel like we've gone on location with it. We're back at Carlington, which is this great large hangar, but I think it's 850 feet long, 350 feet wide, and 160 foot high. It's enormous. The great thing about it is if you have a vertical set, there's nowhere in the world that has this kind of height. Bain's lair, we have 70, 80 foot worth of height, so that was essential to build it here.
We always knew that the sort of key middle of the film, the fight between Bane and Batman, would take place in this environment. So we tried to build in, and Nathan tried to design in a degree of complexity to it so that Tom Struthers and Buster as fight coordinator could really play with the catwalks, play with the pillars, the different elements, and it came into play. And we sort of designed it around the fight to a degree.
The thing about Bane's Lair is I found was like the opposite of the Batcave in the sense that this was where the arch enemy of Batman lived and where he was kind of hunkered down. And it was a very raw industrial space, and it was very concrete and steel, where the Batcave was kind of rock and waterfalls, like a little more organic or earthly. And to me, those 2 sets were representative of Batman and Bane, the 2 enemies, the 2 people fighting against each other.
از نکات جالب توجه در این فیلم استفاده از یک خودروی جدید در صحنه فیلم برداری بود که لامبورگینی اونتادور نام داشت. حوادث ناخواسته نیز در حین فیلم برداری اتفاق می‌افتاد که روند کار را با وقفه مواجه می‌کرد. برای نمونه یکی از بدلکارها در باشگاه هوانوردی در فشی بریج اسکاتلند پس از یک سقوط ناموفق بر روی سقف یکی از خانه‌ها افتاد و دچار صدمه شد. و نیز در پیتسبورگ بدلکار دیگری در حین فیلم برداری یکی از صحنه‌هایی که قرار بود سوار بر موتور بتمن از پله‌ها پایین بیاید با یکی از دوربین‌های آیمکس برخورد کرد که البته کسی صدمه ندید، اما دوربین به کلی از بین رفت. تصادف دیگری نیز در پیتسبورگ اتفاق افتاد و در زمانی بود که اتومبیل حامل هواپیمای بتمن از مسیر خارج شد و نتیجه این تصادف از بین رفتن مدل هواپیما بود که تولید فیلم را تا بازسازی مجدد آن به تأخیر انداخت. کمی پیشتر از کریسمس 2011 کریستوفر نولان برخی از بهترین کارگردان‌های آمریکا از جمله ادگار رایت، مایکل بی، برایان سینگر، جان فاوریو، الی روت، دانکن جونز و استفان دالدری را به سالن نمایش آیمکس یونیورسال سیتی واک دعوت کرد تا 6 دقیقه نخستین فیلم را که به صورت آیمکس فیلم برداری و از روی نگاتیو اصلی دوربین ویرایش شده بود به صورت خصوصی به نمایش درآورد. نولان در نظر داشت تا همکاران خود را به استفاده از تکنولوژی آیمکس متقاعد کند و بر این عقیده بود که با استفاده از این شیوه همچنان میتوان تصاویری با کیفیت مشابه دیجیتال تهیه کرد.
There's a storm coming.
You sound like you're looking forward to it.
I'm adaptable.
What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning.
What we're constructing here is a very, very elemental conflict between good and evil.
Why didn't you just kill me?
Your punishment must be more severe.
Did they kill him?
I'm not sure.
It's the true completion.
I won't bury you. Buried enough members of the Wayne family.
It takes everything to a whole new level.
We were in this together, and then you were gone.
It's a multi-layered story with massive amounts of action.
The Batman has to come back.
Chris was able to amp up the stakes for this last movie and really take it to places that I don't think anyone's expecting.
What if he doesn't exist anymore?
He must.
At the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises, we find a Bruce Wayne who's been damaged by his experiences as Batman.
You are as precious to me as you were to your own mother and father. I swore to them that I would protect you, and I haven't.
How much longer can he allow this pain to control what he does with his life?
Alfred feels that it's his duty to help him find a way to put it behind him.
You're not Batman anymore.
It's about 8 years that Batman has been missing. And we've gotten to see what Gotham has become.
Everything seems fine on the surface, but it's all built on this lie.
I am the main sort of facilitator of that. It's a secret, I think, that's eaten away at him.
So The Dark Knight Rises is about how that affects Gotham and how things begin to get worse once again.
And now is Bruce having to deal with a new threat to the city and to himself? The choice has to be made. Is Batman going to return?
It's the true test of a hero. Confronted with their darkest fears, being taken all the way to the edge. How do they come back?
Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know.
In The Dark Knight Rises, we have an incredible ensemble that we've put together.
I remember seeing Christian in the makeup chair. There was a 3-year-old in me that was like, that's Batman.
It never stops giving me goosebumps. Standing in the suit, where you walk down the steps and everyone just stops.
I really wanted to see Batman meet his match.
There's a new kid in town.
This is the first time that Batman has come across anybody who is superior physically.
Mr. Wayne.
Wayne's not ready to be reasoned with.
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
Some people want to watch the world burn, or Wayne's come to pull the pin on the grenade.
Tom Hardy is an extraordinary actor. What Tom is able to do just with his expressions and his eyes, it's terrifying. Through the course of The Dark Knight Rises, we'll uncover more about what drives Bane, where he comes from, what he wants.
Let the games begin.
And none of it's good news.
We've made some mistakes. Who's Kyle?
Girls gotta eat.
Selena Kyle has her own code of ethics, which sometimes involves doing things that other people might consider questionable.
We have to have a way of grounding the character, realizing that the Catwoman could just be this con woman, this grifter, this classic movie femme fatale, really.
It's a brazen costume for a cat burglar.
Yeah? Who are you pretending to be?
I think Anne understood right from the first that she was going to have to do almost everything in the film herself. She has to be that character. She took it on in the most extraordinary way.
The most important thing is to fit into Chris's Gotham City. My Catwoman has to be Chris Nolan's Catwoman.
Don't be shy.
When you cleaned up the streets, you cleaned them good. Pretty soon we'll be chasing down overdue library books. My character, John Blake, is a proud police officer. And in the midst of, I think, a lot of cynicism,
he remains really idealistic and someone who really believes in what he does.
We have a new character played by Marion Cotillard, Miranda Tate, a member of the Wayne Enterprises board, and she's trying to pull him out of his shell and get him back into the world.
Don't worry, Master Wayne. Takes a little time to get back in the swing of things.
Alfred, as played by Michael Caine, has always been the emotional heart of these movies.
You know what Alfred is? He is us in this incredible world. He's not tough like all the others.
These conversations used to end with an unusual request.
I'm retired.
I would say Lucius is the brains.
Yes, Mr. Wayne, it does come in black.
But he also has grown to have a great fondness for Bruce.
Lucius and Alfred. Between the two of them, we try to keep his moral compass pointed in the right direction.
And Commissioner Gordon, to some extent, has been left on his own running the police in Gotham.
Jim Gordon really is the conscience of Batman, isn't he?
لباس بتمن متشکل از 110 تکه مجزا بود که هر کدام باید هزاران بار در طی فیلم برداری تعویض میشد. لایه نخستین این لباس متشکل از ترکیبات پلی استر بود که به پوست اجازه تنفس میداد و رطوبت را نیز جذب میکرد. پس از آن قطعات اورتان آب شده قابل انعطاف به این بافت پلی استری وصل شد تا بدنه لباس شکل بگیرد. همچنین پنل هایی متشکل از فیبر کربن داخل بخش های مربوط به پا، سینه و شکم جای گرفت و نقاب نیز از روی صورت و سر کریستیان بیل الگو برداری شد تا کاملا روی صورت او بنشیند. در نهایت لباس بتمن کاملا مشابه با فیلم قبلی ساخته شد. برای ساخت لباس گربه‌ای سلینا کایل نیز از دو لایه مختلف استفاده گردید که لایه بیرونیان از جنس پلیورتان پوشیده از اسفنج با اشکال 6 ضلعی بود. همچنین به این لباس دستکش‌های بلند، یک کمربند خاص و پوتین‌های بلند با پاشنه‌های میخی نیز اضافه گردید. در این فیلم از یک هواپیمای جدید نیز استفاده شده که به بت شهرت پیدا کرده است. در طراحی بت از جت هریر جامپ، بل بوینگ V22 آسپری و آپاچی AH64 بوینگ نمونه برداری شده است. کریس کاربولد مسئول جلوه‌های ویژه فیلم اعلام کرد اندازه و شکل هواپیما یکی از مشکلات اساسی کارش بود، زیرا کریستوفر نولان همیشه استفاده از مدل‌های واقعی را به تصاویر کامپیوتری ترجیح می‌داد. در نتیجه برای به پرواز درآوردن این هواپیما با استفاده از سیم آن را از جر صغیر و هلیکوپتر آویزان کردند و با استفاده از کنترل کننده‌های هیدرولیک حرکات آن را شبیه سازی نمودند.
What's great with Batman's allies is that they really bring interesting questions that Bruce has to answer in his life.
Chris has always had such a strong sense of spectacle, with this good human story to it as well.
He turns those big action movies into something very intimate and emotional. You feel very close to all those people.
In every movie that Chris has made on the Dark Knight trilogy, he's been able to keep to great filmmaking in terms of the great characters and the great character arcs.
He creates whole worlds that you really can get lost in.
What does that mean?
Rise.
The Dark Knight Rises is certainly the biggest film that I've undertaken, by far. We really looked back to the silent era of motion pictures, when the image was paramount, when all you had was the scope and scale of a location, thousands of extras, that kind of thing. That's the kind of storytelling I was interested in exploring.
Dark Knight Rises is about trying to get some of that romantic scale and modernism into it in a sort of epic way.
We started the shoot in India, then we moved to the UK. After that, we went to Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, Manhattan.
It's been relentless action from start to finish.
We've expanded into the largest of genres, the war movie, the disaster film. They add scale, raising the stakes from a place where they were already extremely heightened.
We do get a great kick out of doing this action work. To be in Inverness, Scotland, flying with a fuselage in an aircraft and 4 stuntmen hanging off an airplane.
With Chris Nolan, as much as we can physically do inside of that lens is where he would like to go. We had them on the outside of the aircraft, shooting through the windows, and it was a big thing to come together.
It has this wow factor.
We're back at Carlington, which is this large hangar.
You okay? Yep.
A lot of the film takes place underground, so we've built a Gotham sewer system and we're pumping an enormous amount of water around it.
We wanted to fulfill the promise of Batman Begins, which is that Wayne Manor will be rebuilt exactly as it was, but that the Batcave will be expanded and brought forward technologically.
My mother warned me about getting into cars with strange men.
This isn't a car.
One of the biggest creations was the new flying vehicle, the Bat. It's a big insect. It's nearly 30 foot long and 17 foot wide. It needs to travel very fast up roads. It needs to climb up over buildings.
Chris Corbould and Chris's designs are just phenomenal. It's a wonderful new gadget.
We have a big stadium that we have to blow up. The Pittsburgh Steelers have kindly allowed us their stadium.
We had almost 11,000 people turn up for one day's shooting to play fans of the Gotham Rogues.
The biggest challenge is just the sheer scale of the operation that's going on. You know, we've got thousands of people in the stands, we've got multiple cameras, IMAX cameras. This is probably going to be one of the biggest, most demanding visual effects sequences in the film.
To up the scale of the city, and there's only one place that you can do that, and that's New York.
In the Wall Street sequence, there's a big battle between the police and all the mercenaries. They've got something like 1,200 extras.
Chris really did want to shoot everything as real as possible, so there's no visual effects enhancing the amount of people that are in that scene.
This was 8 months of preparation has gone into what you see here, working with the city, with the departments in order to control this set.
Seeing that many bodies in the middle of Wall Street fighting each other, even if it was controlled chaos, it's still kind of like, wow.
People of Gotham, we have not abandoned you.
What does that mean? It means we're on our own.
This is certainly the biggest movie that I've ever worked on.
But then emotionally, it feels like something that a lot of people can tap into.
It's wonderful. It kind of brings things full circle.
You see only one end to your journey. Sometimes a man rises from the darkness.
Every great story deserves a great ending, and we've really tried to be true to that. The Dark Knight Rises is our attempt to give that great story its great ending.
We want to destroy Gotham.
What now?
War.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
به گفته تولی سامرز از فعالان هنرهای تجسمی، یکی از دلایل محبوبیت فیلم‌های بتمن نولان سرعت فیلم برداری آنهاست. همچنین او معمولاً ترجیح می‌دهد از طرح‌های خام استفاده کند و از انجام طراحی‌های زیبا و تر و تمیز دوری می‌کند. در واقع او زیبایی نظامی را به تصویر می‌کشد.